wives, and then there's another husband. Everybody knows the story about her husband, but this is her take. Lot was wonderful to you guys, but he wasn't wonderful to me. Lot complained about everything. He realized he felt like I didn't know that him and his uncle didn't get along. Lot was arguing with his family, then he moved into a town to argue with my family. I had to deal with him always arguing with my family. The very famous day, let me tell you about that day. Lot was sitting outside talking to a bunch of fools. And everybody know what a fool is, a man that has said in his heart, there's no God. He carried on the whole entire day, fussing, complaining, talking about how wonderful his family was. Nobody really realized but me that him and his family didn't get along. He kept talking, he kept complaining, and then he turned around and promised our daughters to two guys that had been to Tennessee and they didn't get their marriage license. But he kept complaining. I'm thinking to myself, give it a break, Lot. And then I heard him talking. I didn't know if it was the TV or what. Lot was in there just talking, and then I heard him say, well, if it's 50 people, I was like, how could it be 50? They have Dragon Con in town, and then they have the Pride Parade. It's not gonna be 50 of anything. He kept complaining, and I was just washing the dishes, taking care of business, looking at my daughters, not that pleased with them, because after all, these girls didn't even help me. So then Lot began to talk, and then he came in and he says, they're after the guests. I said, here we go with Lot. He's always drawing it and making it bigger than what it needs to be. So he kept on, and then finally I heard him say something about, if it's only 3 people. We had a family of 4. He hadn't included me at all. I said, here it goes. Then he says, come on, let's go. He said, pack up everything. He grabbed a blanket and wrapped it around his head. He grabbed another blanket and put it on his back. And I'm like, well, where are we going? And so we took off, and he was running up the hill. And then all of a sudden, I thought he said something because he was always talking to himself. And I turned around and I said, what? And then he told the story. She turned back. I didn't turn back. I was trying to ask him, what are you saying? So I left as a pillar of salt. Then he talks to my daughters, and they go away, and you know what those girls did, those heifers. Every time I go and I'm standing there as a pillar of salt, that's okay. I'm salty, but the heifers always come by in droves and lick me. Oh my God. This is the sister to Miss Lot, Job, Miss Job. Miss Job was a very nice woman, but she had a husband and he complained just like Lot. A lot of Job, a lot of work. She had to, when her husband was going through, he complained about, oh, I have all these sores. Ladies, you know as a wife who clean the sores. He complained about, oh, I lost all of my children. He never did stop to think she lost hers as well. He complained and sat up with his friends. Why didn't they go home? They stayed there all day, back and forth, back and forth. And I kept on saying, listen, I'm not feeling well. Send your friends home. He says, no, my friends are here to debate. Debate what? Debate about why we have lost everything. Lost everything, he kept on complaining. Can you clean me? Can you do this? Can you do that? I lost my children. I said, okay, die. I really didn't mean it. But after all, I didn't want to become salty.
Wow.
My news, David's first wife. Every time she was there, David and her would get into it, and she was looking out the window, Now take in mind, she came from a family of mental illness, and every time David got upset, he would say, your daddy, your daddy, your daddy. She said, I know, my dad, my dad. He was out there dancing, and she was looking at him, and she realized that her place had been lost. And all she could hear is how he was dancing, and everybody was raving about him, and she just felt to herself, I just wish he would just die. But she kept on loving him, and he kept on complaining. Every time she would say, honey, it's dinner, he would say, you know what your dad did to me. Honey, let's have a family. He said, you know about your dad. And she was like, here we go. Honey, do you still love me? He says, no. What I want you to know is your daddy. So a lot of times we wear so many different hats, and we give all, but we have a whole bag in all of our hats. Sometimes we may find ourselves salty because we've gone through. We may find ourselves weeping because we're going through, and we may just find ourselves just totally mad because we've gone through. But it's all a part of the First Wives Club.